One of the biggest surprises that I came across when I began my career as a Qlik Sense server admin is that it turns out I also had to be a PostgreSQL server admin. Not to the full extent, but we Qlik Sense admins do need to know things like how to create and manage databases and database users, how to configure remote server access, how to backup, upgrade, and how to recover a PostgreSQL server. If you didn't know that yet, surprise! In any case, the topic of today's video is PostgreSQL server backups. Let's see how that's done. Backing up a PostgreSQL server seems vague. It's too grand of a task. It's not exactly clear what needs to be done. So let's make it clear. When backing up a PostgreSQL server, especially for Qlik Sense server, we need to back up all of the databases and contents of those databases, all users, user permissions, and database ownership information, and indices that are used to help PostgreSQL run optimally. Backing up all these things will help you recover your PostgreSQL server in its entirety. So that is what we will be backing up today. Now, in order for you and me to be able to back up a PostgreSQL server, we will need to have a few things in place. We will need to know the port number that PostgreSQL server runs on, the password to Postgres account or whatever admin account that you use to administer your PostgreSQL server. We will need to have a secure backups storage directory for storing PostgreSQL backups. We'll need to have enough disk space in the backups storage directory. And ideally, we'll need the path to PostgreSQL binaries added to the path system variable. Now, if you don't know the port number that your PostgreSQL server uses, I put together a video showing how you can find it. Link to it should pop up in the top right corner of this video. Now, the backup storage directory. This one is very important. Let me show you why. Here, I ran my automated backup tasks to create a backup of my prod PostgreSQL server. Here's the file that I created. We will be creating a file just like this one. Notice that it's just a SQL file that has commands to rebuild or recreate users and databases and each record in each of the table in each database. This is your entire PostgreSQL server in a single plain text SQL file. Whoever has access to this file will be able to run it and recreate your entire PostgreSQL server. Keep this file locked down. I recommend storing it in a folder that is accessible only to you and whoever else on your team is responsible for server backups and recovery, and no one else. Lastly, the path system variable. If you're not familiar with it, let me show what it is. If I go to the start menu and type environment, then select this edit the system environment variable app and click on this environment variables button, you'll see a list of environment variables. There are user variables and system variables. This path system variable is the one I was referring to. If I select it and click the edit button, you'll see that one of the entries that I have here is this path to PostgreSQL bin folder. Having the path to the bin folder will essentially make the PostgreSQL commands shorter. It's not a must, but it is a very convenient feature. Okay, so assuming you have the port number, Postgres user credentials, and a secured backups storage directory, let's get started and shut down all Qlik Sense services, except for the repository database service. We'll need that one running so we can actually back up the repository databases. Now, to shut down Qlik Sense services, I will be using the PowerShell script that I showed how to create in a previous video. If you'd like to shut down the services manually, I listed the proper stopping order in the description. Okay, I'll go ahead and launch PowerShell as an admin. Remember, to stop Qlik Sense services, you will need admin privileges. Then I'll navigate to my scripts folder. That's where the script to stop Qlik Sense services is. And lastly, I'll type that / and the name of the script file, followed by dash skip repository database service parameter. And I'll hit enter to run it. Okay, so now that the Qlik Sense services are stopped, let's run this command, which will back up your PostgreSQL server. Before running the command, let's specify the port number here. In my case, that's 4432. Then the username of an admin account, for me that's Postgres. And lastly, the directory where you want this command to save the PostgreSQL backup file. And make sure that the file parameter ends with the name of the backup file, followed by .sql extension, like this. Okay, so the last thing we have here are these three parameters. Let's start with the easiest one, the verbose parameter. When we will run the command, depending on the size of your PostgreSQL server, it might take a while to finish. It will be backing up hundreds of tables and potentially millions of records. Without this verbose parameter, when you run this command, all you will see is just a blank screen with a blinking cursor. It won't be clear if the command is still working or if it's just stuck. The verbose parameter will fix that. It will make pgdump_all command show exactly what it is currently working on, which database or table it's backing up. As for the clean and if_exist parameters, they're used to create the backup script file that will contain commands to delete any existing database and users before restoring backed up databases and users in a new PostgreSQL server. These parameters are useful when PostgreSQL is being restored, especially in bundled installations of PostgreSQL. Now, it sounds scary, I know. Deleting all databases and users, that seems like a thing that we never want to do. But that's the whole point of server recovery, right? When things go wrong with a server, we delete all bad or corrupted data and restore clean functioning settings and data that we backed up earlier. So in a server recovery context, deleting all databases and users is expected. And by the way, this is not saying that when we run this command, it will delete all databases and users. It won't. It is saying that the backup script that this command will generate will include commands that will delete existing databases and users when we run that script to recover PostgreSQL server. Here, let me open up the backup file from my prod server, the one we saw earlier. See these drop if_exist commands here? That's what those clean and if_exist commands will include in the script. If you don't include the clean and if_exist parameters, these drop commands will not be added to the backup file, which means that you will have to manually drop the databases and users during server recovery process before you will be able to run this script to restore your PostgreSQL server. I don't like to do things manually, so I include the clean and if_exist parameters to have them include this script to delete the old databases and users during the server recovery process before the new databases and the users are recovered. Okay, with all that said, let's go ahead and hit the Enter key to run this command and create the backup of PostgreSQL server. Go ahead and type in the password for the account that you specified in the username parameter and hit Enter again. You'll need to keep entering the password to back up each of your databases. I'll go ahead and do that now. Okay, the backup process is complete, and here's the backup file it created. If you open it up, you'll see a very long SQL script like this one. It will have commands to recreate every database, every schema, every table, every record in every table, all users, everything you need to be able to recover your PostgreSQL server. So that's the process that I follow to back up PostgreSQL server on my Qlik Sense servers. If we zoom out, the whole process is really just stop the Qlik Sense services and run one command. And now you know what that command is. Not too bad, right? All right, well, that's all for today, and I'll see you tomorrow with more Qlik Sense admin / PostgreSQL admin tips and insights.